Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I want to talk about the topic of healing. I've been reflecting on this a lot this week, and I want to talk about signs that you are healing. And why this is so important is as we're going through those deep internal shifts, those identity shifts, and we feel lost, a lot of times we are moving more towards our light, towards our joy, but sometimes it's not easy to see that. So I wanted to talk about things that you will notice along the way of your journey. And I've written these things down. So the first thing I got here is a neutral response. Being able to be in situations or interactions with people that used to bring you great difficulty or pain or bring up lots of negative emotions, you're able to hear what they have to say and simply observe rather than react. So that's number one. Another sign that you are healing is that ability to choose, right? Again, kind of going back to the reacting thing. For me, healing is about choice. It is about being able to shift out of what has been done to me versus this, what do I want to create mindset, right? So that looks like being able to choose and to decide. Another thing that I wrote down is as you are going along through your healing process, is this um, lack of interest, right, in the things that used to be a part of your everyday world. So whether this is like a loss of interest in a job, a loss of interest in activities, or not having an interest in hanging out with the people that used to be a part of your everyday world, right? Just ready to move on. There's no feeling one way or the other, just kind of like, yeah, that's not really for me anymore. Or I just don't really want to connect in that way anymore. Another thing that I wrote down was being able to say no to others in order to be able to say yes to yourself. Yes to yourself, being able to prioritize self-care or whatever it is you want to do because you want to do it, not because you're shooting on yourself and saying you should do it, and being able to do that without any need to explain or feeling any sense of guilt. And another thing that I've already kind of spoke on in number one, but I will re-say again, is you stop feeling victimized, right? And you're able to find the wisdom in the wounds. So the things that have happened to you, the things that didn't go right, the people maybe who you felt like betrayed you, you are able to understand how going through that experience, you're able to gain wisdom from that and apply that knowledge of what you've learned about yourself. You are able to apply that to new decisions so that you don't keep repeating the pattern, right? You're able to see the blessings. Another sign that you are healing is when you realize you don't need anyone else to change or any circumstance to change before you can feel better about who you are, right? Your joy and your happiness or your inner peace and contentment is no longer dependent on what other people are doing or what the circumstances are. You are able to choose that for yourself and live in that space, even if only temporarily, right? Still, that shift. Another sign that you're on that healing journey and you are healing is you're able to take risks. you're able to put yourself in new situations and in new environments and enjoy being a beginner, maybe even a little excited about doing things that you've never done. You're not held back in the same way that you were. Another thing that I have written down here is that you're more open and honest now. Most importantly, that ability to be honest with yourself, right? About what your values are, about what matters to you, about what you're no longer willing to do, what you're willing to tolerate, but you're very clear and you're honest with yourself. And because you're able to be honest with yourself and completely honest with yourself, you are also able to give that to others and be honest with others, maybe in a way that you just were not able to do before. And another thing that is becomes apparent as you're healing and growing is you are able to easily voice your preferences, your desires, and your needs in any given situation. You no longer hesitate, you no longer doubt, you no longer downplay those things. You are able to speak up for what you want and what is most important to you. Another thing that I've written down here is that your fears around what other people think about you does not stop you from going after what you truly want or letting go of what you truly do not want in your life anymore. And then I think just the last thing that I would like to add to that is this idea of healing does not mean that we do not have negative emotions or that we do not get upset. That's not what this is. I think healing is about not denying all of your emotions and being honest about your entire experience, being who you actually are, not who you think you need to be, who you should be, et cetera, et cetera. So I just think that's important to clear up, but ultimately to just remember that there typically is more darkness before we step into the light, that that is normal to feel like that, especially if you've been walking this path or been on this journey for a while. It does feel heavy. It does get heavy at times, but to remind yourself that even if it doesn't appear like anything is happening outside of you, just being able to direct your awareness inward and recognize the changes and the shifts that are actually happening inside of you. And this is so important, the healing, in terms of being able to show up not only as ourselves, but for those of us who desire to have careers, our businesses in the arts, where we are making things and sharing our original creations, our ideas. It is so important to be rooted and grounded in who we are and feeling safe in who we are, right? So that gives us the ability to express ourselves unapologetically. And with that being said, if you would like to deepen your healing practice and be able to show up more as who you truly are and to share your art, to share your voice, or to share your ideas, and you're looking for a little bit of encouragement and inspiration to keep you on that road, consider joining my newsletter, Creative Currents. In that newsletter that I share sort of regularly, I talk about all things related to healing, finding inspiration, and showing up in your business and in your life in a way that is deeply aligned with your true self, your core self. And to me, that is what creativity is all about. Creativity is healing because it is giving voice to all of you. So that's all I have for you today. I will see you next time.